I want to make a statement now. I do not agree with the North Korean ideologies, but I do care for and love the people there. I am looking for the beautiful, positive things. I want to connect with local people, learn about the culture and the country. I am not an investigative journalist. I don't really do political commentary, and there are other places on the internet you can go to find those kind of things. So Philip DeFranco, he's a popular YouTuber, and he made a video about this unfolding drama. He criticised me with an analogy about being taken on a tour around a big mansion, knowing that there's rooms with murder and torture going on in them, but only being shown to the rooms like the nice swimming pool and the kitchen and the games room, and then leaving that mansion just talking about those things. My only question to that is, what about the people in the house that are in those rooms, in the nicer rooms? I think the only way to make a difference is to connect with those people and show them love, and maybe that will impact the entire household. We were surfing in the wave pool there, and there was this one moment where I looked around and there were 8 different nations represented. There was people from Sweden, Switzerland, Canada, the US, the UK, North Korea, Russia, I think there was another one, Finland. Okay, and the Russian guy was actually just at the water park, and he was from the embassy, the Russian embassy, and one of the North Korean tour guides turned to us and said, surfing brings peace. And I think that was a very strong message, and I think it really does.
The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, more commonly known as North Korea, is a nation that, despite its size, finds itself making headlines across the world. Notorious for its human rights record, North Korea remains one of the most repressive and authoritarian states in the world. Ruled by their so-called supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, the government exerts complete control over its citizens and has been heavily criticised by Western society, to which the country responds to with boasts and threats. The ideology behind this hermit kingdom, which isolates itself from the rest of the world, is of Juche, translated as self-reliance. Developed by Kim Il-sung, the first supreme leader of North Korea, Juche originally was a variant of Marxism-Leninism, eventually distancing itself and incorporating the strong emphasis on the individual, the nation-state, and its sovereignty. Its 3 principles are as follows. 1. Political independence. 2. Economic self-sustenance. And 3. Self-reliance in defense. With these principles, North Korea has become a prominent and notorious presence in our modern world, often threatening other nations that encroach upon them or threaten their way of life, be it potentially through sabotage, assassinations, and even threats of nuclear Armageddon. Their efforts in propaganda, on the other hand, may take a far more discreet and interesting manner. Louis Cole, better known by his online alias of Fun for Louis, is a British filmmaker and YouTube personality. As of the 19th of March 2017, he has 1.9 million people subscribed to his YouTube channel, which features video blogs of him exploring the world with his friends, interacting with the locals, and promoting his viewers to visit these countries, creating a positive and fun-loving image of himself and the places he goes to. However, from the 10th to the 20th of August 2016, Louis visited a certain country and created a 10-video series documenting his tour of the place. This country was, of course, North Korea. The vlogs were posted each consecutive day and showed Louis' trip through the reclusive state, with him visiting a water park, playing with the local children, surfing, and even pranking his military guide. In his own unique style, Louis portrayed his trip as being a positive and outreaching one, interacting with the populace and showing off the positive aspects of the country. These videos, however, were criticised by viewers and eventually journalists, the videos being subjected to accusations of Louis Cole having been potentially paid by the North Korean government to create propaganda for them in the form of his travel vlogs. Accusations that he fervently denies, going as far as to post a video with him explaining his viewpoints/reasonings and then placing a disclaimer at the beginning of the rest of his North Korean vlogs from day 8 onwards. With the increased media coverage of the subject, concerns have been raised of YouTube being used as a potential platform for propaganda and how it would affect its various audiences. The questions being asked are the following. Could Louis' videos actually be labelled as propaganda? And is YouTube an effective platform for this propaganda? To understand if Louis' videos could be propaganda, we must first understand what it is and how we can identify if Louis' videos fall under this categorization. Firstly, propaganda is defined as being information, especially of a biased and misleading nature, used to promote a political cause or point of view. In our modern society, propaganda is very much present on the internet, whether it is online trolls paid by the Russian government to promote pro-Putin remarks and information, or China's sock puppetry propagandists who work in tandem with the Chinese government's heavily regulated internet in China. YouTube being used for propaganda, however, has not been nearly as prominent until now, allegedly. Whether or not Louis was paid or not by the North Korean government to make the videos, propaganda can still be identified through the propaganda model proposed by Edward S. Herman, a professor of finance at the University of Pennsylvania, and Noam Chomsky, an American linguist, philosopher, cognitive scientist, historian, social critic, and political activist. It was first presented in 1988. The model was based primarily on the characterization of United States media. Chomsky and Herman believed, however, that the theory is equally applicable to any country, or in this case person, that shares the basic economic structure and organizing principles to which the model postulates as the cause of the media biases. The theory suggests 5 general classes of filters that determine the type of news that is presented in media, with these filters taking out the information that doesn't align with what the presenter wants, in this case being Louis. These 5 classes are ownership, advertising, sources, flack, and ideology. Firstly, taking a look at the ownership filter, the major media organisations are in the hands of a few elites. The major news channels, newspapers, and other mass media instruments are a part of a large corporation and conglomerate. The information presented to the public will be varying as per the interests of these organisations. This filter aligns with Louis' video. He is the sole content creator and is hosting the videos on YouTube, who, although are a large corporation, do not alter the videos themselves. He, on the other hand, is the sole content creator, and his word is final on what he produces. His positivity and lack of critical discussion about North Korea being what he is producing. Secondly, the advertisement filter. The advertisements play the major role in funding of mass media. If advertisements were not funding mass media, then price of the newspapers may include cost of its production, and also it's applicable for other mass media like television, radio, and electronic media. So it is common that the media filters the news in favour of their advertisement providers. This, however, does not align with Louis' videos, as most of his money is gained through YouTube advertisements, but these advertisers have no say in his content or creative process, the advertisements being embedded in the YouTube video player as opposed to the videos themselves. Thirdly, sources. Even the biggest media organisations cannot afford to have reporters and camera persons wherever the news breaks. There will always be some sources for news, and the media is supposed to protect these sources, and in the same time, there will be more powerful sources, which tend to change the policies of media. For availing a continuous flow of news, the media must take suitable actions in favour of the source. Louis' videos fall under this filter, as Louis is under a guided tour of North Korea, meeting people, and due to him claiming that
But I do care for and love the people there.
he is protecting his sources and not budging on his stance his videos have taken, defending the people, his source. Him seeing his videos as an ode to the people, despite these people who are interacting in the guided tours of North Korea as allegedly being mostly actors. Fourthly, flack. Flaks refer to the negative responses to the statement or programme published or broadcast. If the flaks are produced in a large scale, it is destructive to the media. The media will always have an eye for the negative responses. As a filter, it will try to avoid the news items which may bring sort of a negative response or consequence. This filter doesn't apply to Lewis's videos, as the flack his videos have been receiving in the form of negative comments, news reports and articles was never taken into consideration by Louis and didn't affect his videos' content to a large extent, as evidenced by his response video and disclaimer. As well, the flack only increased the popularity of his videos. Finally, the ideology filter. An external enemy or threat, manifesting as anti-communism during the Cold War period when the propaganda model was originally published, this filter still operates, particularly in the post-9/11 political climate. This filter mobilises the population against a common enemy, terrorism, energy insecurity, Iran, while demonising opponents of state policy as insufficiently patriotic or in league with the enemy. Louis' videos align under this filter, although passively. The imagery in the videos features North Korean memorials, posters, statues, and symbols that promote North Korea and its ideology of Juche, also showing demonised Western symbols, a common trope amongst North Korean propaganda. In review, Louis' videos fall under at least 3 filters of the propaganda model: ownership, sources, and ideology, making his videos fall under the category of propaganda. Now that Louis' videos have been established as propaganda, we shift our focus to YouTube's role in this propaganda dissemination. As previously stated, Louis uploaded 10 videos from the 10th of August to the 20th each consecutive day. Collectively, his video series on his trip to North Korea amassed 5,638,996 views, with the most viewed video being his response video with 858,131 views, and his least viewed video being his Day 9 video with only 182,833 views. This video series has reached a large amount of people, and while some have voiced their concerns with the videos, a large majority on the other hand support the videos and Louis himself. This is most clear in the like to dislike ratio on all the videos. The highest positive ratio being on the Day 8 video with 91.1% likes to 8.9 dislikes. The lowest positive ratio being on the Day 5 vlog with 78.8% likes to 21.2% dislikes. Even with this most disliked video, Louis' North Korea video series manages a median score of 86% likes to only 14% dislikes. It is clear that despite the negative press and comments directed towards Louis and his North Korea vlogs, the majority of viewers and commenters support Louis and his positive approach to North Korea, despite the negative flack. This means his videos reached a large majority of people and portrayed his positive message to them, including the propaganda. Looking specifically at the term of time surrounding the video's release, we can see a spike in both subscribers and total views for Louis' channel, with him gaining 39,344 subscribers and 5,271,159 total video views in just 2 weeks. This period of time highlights the advantage of YouTube as a platform for propaganda, as publicity, despite its outward negativity towards this subject, only drew in more people to watch and to be potentially influenced by the propaganda, by either being one of many new subscribers or one of the many new viewers of the channel and its content. Finally, the ability to share YouTube videos is also a key feature of YouTube videos, and as such can allow for propaganda to be disseminated to an even higher degree. The most shared video out of the North Korean vlogs is the Day 1 video with 3,391 shares. The least shared video is also the least viewed video, Day 9, with only 172 shares. The median of the shares of all the videos is 583 shares, with the total number of shares across the whole series being 8,451 shares. All this sharing allows the propaganda to not only be spread across audiences in YouTube, but also other sites as well that support YouTube's video share functionality, such as social media sites, news sites, and even personal blogs. This means that YouTube's role in dissemination of this propaganda is an effective and prominent one, with Louis' videos reaching a wide YouTube audience as well as an overall internet one. So, to conclude, Louis Cole's videos are indeed propaganda, with them falling under the filters of ownership, sources, and ideology. Also, with their utilisation on YouTube being an effective one, making YouTube a prominent and useful platform for this new form of propaganda. However, with this conclusion and looking back at Louis' videos and even Louis himself, one can see that despite the criticisms surrounding him, one can argue that Louis himself is not a bad person, wishing to bring positivity to those around him and promote the good sides of a country, paid or not. However, his positive message has been hijacked, intentional or not, by propaganda that supports North Korea and has reached out to many people as a form of new wave propaganda. The small nation's ideology has spread across the world. Juche has gone from being confined to a hermit nation to being just one video click away.